Mm, mm, mm. Cold steel on my wrist in a room meant for life. Fluorescent lights flicker over fear in my eyes. They said I was the one, but the truth stayed unheard. Another voice confessed, but they buried his word. My baby took her first breath while I wore chains. Her mother needed love through the weight of their blame. How do you fight a system that won't see your name? How do you rise when they swear you're to blame? I gave birth in shackles, but they couldn't lock my soul. They could take away my freedom, but never my hope. I held my daughter gently, whispered, Mama didn't choose this road. Mistaken identity stole years, but it never stole the fire in my bones. Courtroom shadows painted me as someone I'm not. Every truth I spoke was a war I never forgot. I watched my life drift by on a cold concrete floor, counting days like raindrops on a rusted iron door. But justice has a heartbeat, slow but beating still, and family is a promise no prison can kill. How do you heal from a world built to die? How do you breathe with walls all around? I gave birth in shackles, but they couldn't lock my soul. They could take away my freedom, but never my hope. I held my daughter gently, whispered, Mama's coming home. They took pieces of my life, but they never stole the fire in my bones. One day the truth will rise like the sun through the bars. You can cage a woman's body, but you can't dim her scars. My child will know the story, not the shame they tried to give, but a mama who kept fighting, a mama who still lives. I gave birth in shackles, but they couldn't lock my soul. No courtroom, no judgment could ever take control. I walked out with my head high, with my baby I will grow. They took my freedom once, but they'll never steal the fire in my bones.
What's up, everybody? It's good to see everybody. Yeah, on the bust in Colorado, Hawkeyes shared that with me the other day. We'll go over it here in a minute. But first off, we are going to go over something that Deb C shared with me. Thank you, Deb C. It's called The Case of Mistaken Identity. Elkhart, Kansas. Has to do with Guyman. Yes, that's the one you said. The other one, we're going to go over that here in a minute. So we'll go over both. But as you see here, this lady's from Elkhart. Okay. I'll just play the article.
Not have this report with her assigned Oklahoma Indigent Defense System attorney,
started over.
Londa Wilkins. I mean, she's
playing
not
in the background.
a series of bad concerns. Brittany Sanchez gave birth to her firstborn while shackled to a Guyman hospital bed. It was April of 2014, and 2 weeks prior, 22-year-old Sanchez had been arrested in the front yard of her longtime boyfriend, Rafael Alvarado's house in Elkhart, Kansas, during her baby shower. Her friends and family watched as a young woman, 9 months pregnant, was arrested for writing a series of bad checks an hour south, a crime Sanchez said she did not commit. When her contractions began 2 weeks later, an officer took her from her Gaiman jail cell to Memorial Hospital of Texas County. Sanchez was told that she was on personal recognizance, meaning she was released from custody and on an order to appear at future court dates, yet she remained shackled and monitored by officers outside the door. She was in labor for 12 hours, with only Alvarado and Sanchez's grandmother permitted in the room. After delivery, she was given 3 days with her newborn infant. Today, Sanchez recalls that when she was discharged, before she was returned to the Texas County Jail, she pleaded with her grandmother to be there for the couple's newborn daughter. The case against her, which she and a fellow inmate claim was a case of mistaken identity and an attempt by authorities to track down an unrelated suspect, highlights concerns about the familial conflicts of interest and lack of due process that residents say permeate the justice system in the Oklahoma Panhandle. A case of mistaken identity, or worse. When Sanchez was 18, she cashed a $76 check on behalf of her friend Katie in Elkhart. Katie claimed her aunt was paying her to do chores, Sanchez said. In reality, Katie stole the check without her aunt's knowledge and set Sanchez up for the fall. One of Katie's family members filed charges. For that crime, Sanchez bonded out, took a diversion, and paid it off to get the charges dismissed. Years later, Sanchez's aunt, Tiffany Sanchez, got wrapped up in a vaguely similar case in Gaiman, involving a stolen checkbook at the grocery store. At the time of the crime, Tiffany was using her mother's car, a Mountaineer registered to Sanchez's grandmother's Elkhart address. So when Gaiman police ran the Kansas plates for the fog checks, they made a call to Morton County and asked what they knew about a Sanchez. A Sanchez with a history of checks, Brittany. Gaiman police refused to comment on Sanchez's case or their protocol for investigating claims of innocence and wrongful arrests. Sanchez, now 33, sat at her kitchen table, surrounded by antique china and a loyal dog at her heels, recalling painful memories that still haunt her today. At 9 months pregnant, Sanchez sat in the Texas County Jail. Every day, an officer checked her vitals and gave her a peanut butter sandwich, an apple, and a Gatorade. Doctor's appointments were scarce, only one check-in until she went into labor. She recalled her wrist attached to the bed and officers pacing the hallway. My mind was so fogged up when this was happening, Sanchez said. Because I knew it wasn't me, and I just could not believe that I was where I was, fixin' to have my first child. Days later, after she handed off her newborn to the father, Sanchez was handcuffed and shackled at the feet, taken back, and immediately put into isolation. I just sat there, Sanchez said through tears. I remember nights I would sit up and just rock. And then there was times I just had to sit there and think. I didn't know if I was going crazy or what was going on because I just didn't understand. Sanchez said she was put into isolation because a jail official believed her to be depressed and on track to become suicidal. I wasn't depressed when I first went back, Sanchez said. I just had my first kid and I was going back to jail. So yes, I was crying. I was upset. I wouldn't talk to nobody. Despite having no prior mental health history, no symptoms of postpartum depression, and no appointments with a physician or psychiatrist, jail officials gave Sanchez drugs, Prozac, an SSRI antidepressant, and the antipsychotic Seroquel, commonly used to treat schizophrenia. She never saw a doctor. Signed statements and an elusive video. In the weeks leading up to Sanchez's delivery, a familiar face showed up. Crystal West, a friend of Sanchez's mother and aunt. Born and raised in Gaiman, West described Sanchez as more like a niece than friend. After West was booked, she knocked on the wall. She knew from Facebook that Sanchez was pregnant. West asked what she was in there for, and Sanchez shared the sparse details she knew. And it took me a minute to click, West said. I was like, that wasn't you. That was me. West described the crime for Sanchez. A group of friends had gotten together while on drugs, including Sanchez's aunt Tiffany. Tiff was too high to leave the house, West said. So she had us run down to Gaiman Academy School, where her son was, and drop off some basketball shoes or something. West said that she was the one driving, and when she got out to drop off the shoes, Her friend Zach Lucero got out of the car and snatched a purse he had seen sitting in the vehicle next to them. Later, they stopped by a gas station and then a grocery store. Coincidentally, the grocery cashier was the owner of the stolen purse, and when Lucero tried to cash checks from her book, she called security. They fled, but witnesses noted the license plates as they drove off. A few weeks later, officers brought in West on a possession charge, where she wound up in a holding cell adjacent to Sanchez. Lucero was still at large. Then the pieces all came together. Sanchez was tied to her grandmother's car. Sanchez wasn't even around Guyman at the time. I don't think, West said. And she definitely wasn't around us. West offered to write a statement owning up to the crime. The women pleaded to police, jail personnel, and to then District Attorney Mike Boring. No one listened. Detectives also refuted their claims, saying there was video footage of the incident, though no footage was shown at any of their court dates. Both women told law enforcement to go ahead and check the video, because if there was evidence, it would support their statements. Sanchez has facial piercings on her cheek, and both have unique and distinguishing tattoos on their arms and neck. And while the two women have a similar style of dressing, Sanchez is darker and was 9 months pregnant. Both Sanchez and West gave written statements that went unconsidered. And both women recall being met with responses inferring that West was trying to take the charge for Sanchez. That officer could have easily just listened to West's story, and I would have never had my kid in there, Sanchez said. I would have never been in this situation if you would have just took the time to listen, and he didn't want to listen. Celebrating his son Chris taking office in the next county over. The Oklahoman profiled the pair, chronicling the father-son duo as the first to ever simultaneously hold judges. Lucero was still at large. Then the pieces all came together. Sanchez was tied to her grandmother's car. Sanchez wasn't even around Guyman at the time. I don't think, West said. And she definitely wasn't around us. West offered to write a statement owning up to the crime. The women pleaded to police, jail personnel, and to then District Attorney Mike Boring. No one listened. Detectives also refuted their claims, saying there was video footage of the incident, though no footage was shown at any of their court dates. Both women told law enforcement to go ahead and check the video, because if there was evidence, it would support their statements. Sanchez has facial piercings on her cheek, and both have unique and distinguishing tattoos on their arms and neck. And while the two women have a similar style of dressing, Sanchez is darker and was 9 months pregnant. Both Sanchez and West gave written statements that went unconsidered. And both women recall being met with responses inferring that West was trying to take the charge for Sanchez. That officer could have easily just listened to West's story, and I would have never had my kid in there, Sanchez said. I would have never been in this situation if you would have just took the time to listen, and he didn't want to listen. He didn't care. He just brushed us off like we were nothing. A family matter. A recurring theme in the Justice in No Man's Land series has been the awkward conflicts of interest that pop up in the Panhandle, a place with more cattle than people. Dozens of Panhandle residents have come forward to complain of abuses in the administration of justice in a region that appears to be ruled by family dynasties and generational legacies. As Sanchez fought her case in 2014, then, DA Mike Boring was celebrating his son Chris taking office in the next county over. The Oklahoman profiled the pair, chronicling the father-son duo as the first to ever simultaneously hold district attorney positions in Oklahoma, but failed to scrutinize whether a close familial tie in neighboring districts, which together make up nearly all of northwest Oklahoma, might compromise prosecutorial duties. While the senior Boring has since retired, the history of familial connections left unquestioned across the state, has left many Panhandle residents feeling they have nowhere to turn. Sanchez's story recalls the case of Trina Moser, another Guyman mom who took justice into her own hands, crafting her own motions to defend herself from a system that appeared stacked against her. Moser and Sanchez had the same prosecutor, the same bondsman, and the same defense. Both stories featured law enforcement operating snitch mills, that is, recruiting and coercing Panhandle residents to turn on each other. Sanchez said the true goal of her arrest was to track down the man police wrongly believed to be the father of her child. They thought they could use an imagined lover as a ploy to reel him in, Sanchez said. The DA was convinced that I was pregnant with Zach Lucero's child, Sanchez said. And he wanted to put me on the streets to go find Zach, and I did not know Zach. I didn't know what Zach looked like. I couldn't help them. Even as Alvarado was recognized as the father of Sanchez's child, attending the birth and taking the baby home, detectives continued to craft a false narrative, Sanchez said, pushing all court dates off until Lucero was also in custody. Sanchez met with DA Boring without representation. She sat at a long table, shackled at the ankles and surrounded by a dozen men telling her the plea deal she was going to take, and how things were going to be. Sanchez grew up with now Assistant District Attorney Toss Smith, and prior to him becoming the lead prosecutor in his hometown. She recalled him tagging along on father-son bounty hunting trips with Tony Smith, his father, and the lone bondsman of Texas County. The frequency of childhood overlaps and family industries is common in small-town Oklahoma. And even without this deep history, a good relationship is not, in itself, a sign that something is wrong. However, the Oklahoma Bar Association states it is not a question of actual bias, but rather the appearance of bias, and if there is a prosecutor who appears to engage in representations of the state that are in conflict, or that create a personally based conflict of interest. It is not a stretch to say that familial relationships have been construed as potentially giving rise to a personally based conflict of interest, said Melissa Mortazavi, a professor of legal ethics and professional responsibility at the University of Oklahoma College of Law. Prosecutors are advised to err on the side of caution. The Oklahoma Bar Association's standards of professionalism sternly advise against any appearance of impropriety or bias. It's not a question of whether or not you actually were biased, or you actually did something that you wouldn't have done otherwise, said Mortazavi. The test is there a significant risk that the representation of the state is going to be materially limited by the personal interests of the lawyer? While Sanchez's prosecution, stacked with familiar faces, took on a cowboy-style, ad hoc justice, her defense attorney did not offer much reprieve. Mortazavi characterized an effective attorney to be one who is communicative, so that even if the client doesn't love the outcome, they can at least understand the options and why it turned out that way. Sanchez did not have this rapport with her assigned Oklahoma Indigent Defense System attorney, Onda Wilkins. I mean, she's not there for you, Sanchez said. She wasn't there for me. She didn't try to fight for me, to keep me out of prison. The Oklahoma Bar Association requires a prosecutor aware of credible evidence relating to the likelihood that a defendant did not commit a charged offense to immediately disclose and begin remedial measures. Sanchez maintained her innocence, but described Wilkins as just going with whatever the DA said. She did not feel zealously defended. West agreed. They just tie people to crimes and then put a warrant out for their arrest without even investigating it, she said. A lingering warrant. 10 years down the road, Sanchez was a mother of 3 when Texas County came roaring back for her on the same 2014 warrant. In the years since, she had served some time on unrelated charges. The 2014 warrant was for the fees relating to her time served in Texas County. She served 13 more months, all stemming from a $76 check, and the DA's awkward attempts to use her in capturing a man she didn't know. Sanchez will be paying $100 per month until 2037. So I've been through a lot, Sanchez said. My kid has been through a lot. My 11-year-old asks me questions all the time of why I had her in county, why I had her in jail, why she lives with her Meemaw. They just yanked me up out of my kid's life and sent me to prison for this case. Oklahoma Watch reporter J.C. Hallman contributed to this story. Editor's note: after Oklahoma Watch published an expose about a multi-million-dollar DA, run ticketing scheme in Texas County. We were flooded with tips from the Panhandle. This story is the 6th in a series derived from those tips. The 5th story can be found here.
Okay, yeah, where's my producer? I think she quit on me. She's getting her van ready. I don't know. Anyway, no, it's all on me. For some reason, it kept flickering. But anyway, yes, we've heard of boring. Yes, we've heard that one of the seats with the DA, their parents is the only bail bondsman there. And what I found really strange is this happened in 2014, and this lady is still dealing with it to this day. It looks like they have just put so many fees on her that she's never going to get ahead. Oops. So February 7th to 2024, she was in court in October, and they set it up that she's to begin paying $100 monthly payments beginning October 10th, 2025, and every month thereafter, with like sum until paid in full, and by January 10th, 2037. It's just crazy that it's going to go on that long. And they never took the statement from the other lady. So, I mean, I can't even see where they investigated the other lady. It's kind of crazy. And let's see here. I copied one more thing. Let's take it. Oops. Okay, well. Listen, my computer is all over the place today. I don't know what its problem is. So, but that's a long time to be dealing with it and wrongfully accused. Now, I did look into her past. You guys can too. She did have a lot of charges, not just this one. But they, regardless of the charges, they should have still investigated it and got the right person. Seems to happen a lot there in Texas County. I mean, we've shown the articles from Oklahoma Watch before. They make outrageous fines that people can never pay. You're late, Journey. It's all your fault. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I've had all kinds of issues today. So, but here was another one. Hold on. Maybe it's the same date. It is the same date. Okay. I must have just copied the same one twice because it shows the same date. All right. And what kind of justice can she get now? Probably none. She's probably just going to be stuck. Yeah, I agree. It is more than crazy corrupt. I agree. I agree totally. And she's going to have to keep dealing with it till 2037. Like, this is nuts. And that name, Wilkins, that's who Wrangler had too. He didn't have good things to say about her either. And so did a couple other people. So what if your court-appointed attorney, excuse me, is in cahoots with your DA and don't fight for you? We're talking about a lady from the Panhandle that was wrongfully accused in 2014. And they handcuffed her, and she had her baby in the hospital, and they took the baby. And she's still dealing with this to this day. It's just nuts. If you live in that area, you know these stories. And if you have a story, hit up the Oklahoma Watch because he's willing to write about it. He showed up in the Panhandle after the ticket scam that included the DA task force. We went over that one several times. Lady had a CDL, wrote her not even a ticket. She was supposed to call and pay off that fine, and she knew as a CDL driver that they couldn't just get rid of any kind of driving violation. And I tried to look, and I cannot find anything new on that ticket scam. Last we heard, the FBI was investigating. Well, we're not hearing nothing about it. So, how much money was collected? We don't even know that. It's very interesting. But well, let me tell you one thing. You can sit there in the Panhandle and think it's never going to happen to you, or you can stand up And see, and like you are here, even in the chat, you realize there's problems, there's there's things going on. It's not ever going to stop or change unless they start getting called out. Yeah. If you have a story and you want to talk about it, I'll give you the platform to talk about it. But again, Oklahoma Watch is doing a really good job on releasing these stories. I was going to try to read it to you, and I should have, because while I was trying to play it, it kept flickering back on my computer. I don't know why it was doing that, because I watched it today on my phone. But very interesting, and we're going to keep track of that, and I appreciate you, Deb C. I do pay attention to the Oklahoma Watch and the Oklahomian, and I had not seen this, so I do appreciate you sharing it a lot. And people in the area, you might sign up for the Oklahoma Watch, because then they'll just email you the articles that they're doing. So you'll get it right at the same time the rest of us get it. You'll be able to see. Now, the other day, we're going to go on to something else, because unless people want to talk about this in the chat, I'm watching. But the other day, Hawkeye sent me something about Colorado, and it's a big fentanyl bust. And I watch a lot, and she knew this. I watch a lot of storage wars, and where they buy old storage places, for a certain amount. They bid on it and they get it. Well, this one was something more than the person had expected. And I'm going to play this for you because I don't want to run it.
Time, sheriff's deputies in Colorado making a shocking discovery in an auctioned off storage unit that resulted in a record-breaking drug bust. Take a look.
This will be quite the story to tell. Oh. Yep, we're gonna call it that. No, that's an absolute metric ton of fentanyl. Gentleman just bought a unit over here at the storage facility off of John Stiles.
Now that's a lot of fentanyl. And this guy, this storage unit didn't get paid. And guess what? He bought it. And look what he's found.
And it's got, yeah, that one's full of pills as well. But we're looking at a couple hundred bags of blue pills.
Quite the story indeed. The unit contained a 1.7 million counterfeit fentanyl pills. Bringing in now Douglas County Sheriff Darren Weekly. Darren, this is a remarkable story, not only because of the record seizure, I understand the largest drug seizure in Colorado history of fentanyl, but also how it came about. Walk me through that.
Well, the gentleman, he had won that storage unit at auction, paid $250 for it. And then when he got into the unit, he inspected it and then uncovered a bunch of drugs. He immediately realized what it was back.
He probably won't even get his money back, Journey, that he paid for the storage. Who's going to pay him the money he paid for the storage? But he did the smart thing. He called the police.
Out and notified the sheriff's office.
And Sheriff, just to show our viewers again, just the magnitude of these narcotics, we can show you the seizure had 198 kilograms of counterfeit fentanyl pills, which is approximately 1.7 million pills, 12 kilograms of fentanyl powder, and 2.5 pounds of methamphetamine. Was this an eye-opener for your area to have this significant of amount of fentanyl in your jurisdiction?
Oh, without question. We're just south of Denver. We're about 10 minutes south of Denver. We're a suburban community and rural as well. But things like this don't happen that often, and certainly not the largest drug seizure of fentanyl in Colorado's history. So it was shocking, and my reaction was much the same as the deputies.
And Sheriff, even significant not only in Colorado, but really nationwide. I understand it's the 6th largest. In fact, statement from the DEA's Rocky Mountain Division saying this is the largest one-time seizure of counterfeit pills in Colorado history and the 6th largest single seizure of suspected fentanyl pills in U.S. history.
Colorado, Hokies.
That
Colorado.
Pills, and those that are moving these illicit drugs are targeting Colorado?
Well, we have two major interstates in Colorado, right in the middle of the state, I-25 and I-70. And so Colorado, Denver is specifically a major hub for drugs. It has been for decades, and this seizure in particular was tied back to the Sinaloa cartel.
And so, therefore, this individual, this good Samaritan that notified you guys, I trust you are protecting his identity because of fear of retribution from the Sinaloa cartel?
Well, yeah. Yeah, they'd be
You
coming
know,
after him.
we're taking necessary steps
Hold on.
to
I'm
do
gonna-
that,
let's-
but we're also not going to be intimidated. We are going to enforce the law, and we're going to do
Yeah.
what's right for our residents to keep them safe.
I'll pause it so you can talk. Otherwise, they can't hear what's being said. What was you saying?
I said, yeah, protect him because they might come after him.
Right, because it's a cartel. I mean, hopefully this article will say it, but there's a reason why the storage unit wasn't getting paid. Because the guy that had the storage unit is in jail. So he was in jail. So he didn't pay the
Yeah.
storage unit. So the storage unit put it up for sale, and this other guy bought it and found these fentanyl pills. These would have been out on the street if the guy wasn't already in jail.
Yeah, but he didn't have no friends. You know, go get that shit and get it out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You must have been a one-man band.
No, I think there was two of them, but I'm going to finish this and then we'll talk about it.
And Sheriff, I just want to point out that, you know, there are so much that the Democrats and Republicans are fighting on, but it appears the Democratic governor there, Jared Polis, is certainly leaning in and offering local and federal law enforcement all support they can get and might need. Governor Polis saying this, getting more of this deadly drug off the streets saves lives. In Colorado, we are cracking down on crime, apprehending dangerous criminals, and keeping our communities safe. Are you seeing a lot of cooperation?
Well, I can't speak for the governor. His actions don't mirror what he is saying. So Colorado has become.
Okay, I'm going to say this. It don't seem like law enforcement is very hip on the governor of Colorado. He's saying it right there.
Yeah.
Less safe over the years. Our far left legislature has deteriorated penalties for fentanyl specifically. They've reduced penalties for other crimes throughout Colorado. This is not the Colorado that I grew up in. And so we need to turn the tide. But, you know, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just Sheriff, and lastly, in the time I've got left here, a few seconds, do you think there's a lesson in this for Governor Polis?
Yeah, we need to do better, and we need to enforce the law, and we need to put these drug dealers behind bars and stop the catch and release that's going on in Colorado.
Douglas County Sheriff Darren Weekly, thank you for your service, and thank you for appearing here today.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone.
Okay, so I want to find the one that was first released. That one was from 8 hours ago because they do talk about why the storage unit wasn't paid. And listen, it wouldn't have just been
the largest.
It wouldn't have been just in Colorado. Like it would have come over to Oklahoma. It would have come over to Kansas. Like
Yeah.
so, like, them stopping it, it could end up in your state. This is a lot of drugs.
And it could have killed a lot of people because they got some shit in there.
Absolutely. I mean, look at them all. That's a lot. Anyway, I'm hoping this is the one that actually shows there was a machine, a press maker to make these pills. Like it was the whole setup.
Single seizure of fentanyl in Colorado history happening at Highlands Ranch.
Yeah, 1.7 million pills, meth, and more taken off the streets.
Fox 21's Nicole Fierro got an up-close look and is joining us live with the wild backstory behind this discovery as well. Nicole?
Yet not only is this the largest seizure in our state history, the DEA says it is the 6th largest ever in the United States. And what's even crazier is that someone bought a unit here in Highlands Ranch, the storage unit place, on auction, only to open it up and find hundreds of pounds of fentanyl.
Well, this will be quite the story to tell.
An auctioned off storage unit with quite the find inside. Body camera footage shows what happened when the person who bought this unit discovered the contents.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bricks.
And called Douglas County Sheriff's deputies last Tuesday.
That's an absolute metric ton of fentanyl.
With a reminder that only 2 milligrams of fentanyl is considered a lethal dose, here laid out before you is the Colorado state record for a single seizure of fentanyl, an estimated 1.7 million counterfeit fentanyl pills, along with an additional 12 kilograms of fentanyl powder.
The powder alone, if pure, the DEA says has the potential to generate 500,000 pills for each one of these bricks.
This seizure has been linked to elements of the Sinaloa cartel, one of the most powerful cartels in Mexico.
DEA Rocky Mountain Field Division Special Agent in charge, Douglas County Sheriff, and CBI's director break down the backstory.
Earlier this year, a wiretap investigation involving many partners, including CBI, identified a major drug trafficking organization linked to the Sinaloa cartel that funneled drugs into Colorado, led by two brothers. That investigation led to multiple arrests and drug seizures, but obviously not all the drugs.
The fentanyl here was sitting in a storage locker for months because
we now know that storage locker belonged to a drug courier linked to this organization.
That courier was arrested back in April, so his storage unit bill went unpaid, then went up for auction.
The individual absolutely saved countless lives because this garbage never made it to the streets.
Poison, DEA calls it, that's pressed with a machine like this.
You simply take your binding agent, put it into the hopper, and a simple press of a button. A machine like this can produce 4,800 pills within 1 hour. It can merely take days, hours to print this much poison.
At this point, they can't tell us who that courier was that rented the storage unit here or those two brothers that are linked to the Sinaloa cartel here. But they do hope seeing all of those pills, hundreds of pounds of fentanyl, is showing that the cartel is infiltrating our communities in our state. Reporting live here in Highlands Ranch, Nicole Fierro, Fox 30.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, and you know he's going to keep his mouth shut where he got it from. He's going to keep his mouth shut, or he's going to be, or they just might get him. They might just get him to shut him up.
They already got him. Okay, he's already been.
No, I mean the cartel. I mean, as soon as they get a hold of him, they're going to end his life. Shut him up.
Now they might have a hard time getting a hold of him though. But yeah,
if they do it.
I'll tell you, in our small little town here where I went to school, my kids went to school, my oldest daughter's 35, and there's been several of her classmates passed away over fentanyl. It's very strong, and it's very much everywhere, even in the small towns.
Oh, yeah. But it's deadly. It's deadly. You could even smell it or touch it, and you could die.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you ever watch, like, Live Patrol, but there's been times that officers has been searching somebody and got a little bit on them, and they've had to have what's it called, Narcan.
It's knocked them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it knocked them out.
Yeah, almost kills them.
Yeah. So it's very potent.
I said this a while back, but I don't even give my grandkids money anymore. If I want to give them $20, I give it to the parents because I don't want my grandkids even touching money. Because think about it. Back in the days when people did cocaine, they smashed the shit up and they snort it. Same thing with these pills. They smash them and they snort it. So it could be on your $1. It could be on your $5. It could be on your $100. Who knows? Whatever bill's available when they're smashing that pill, that's what it's going to be on.
That's why they have their own little credit cards. So they can use credit cards.
Yeah, I mean,
a little debit card.
There's a reason why, even during COVID, a lot of places wouldn't take cash. They did cards only because of COVID. Yeah. And I see that going this way with all the drugs we have. A lot of places are just going to, go by your debit card or your credit card. They're not going to take cash. And this is one of the reasons because their employees could die just from taking the money.
Yeah.
It's very much known as, and Chris has he's seen something like this happen right here in Wichita. It happens everywhere. Absolutely happens everywhere. And yes, lost 6 people in a month 2 years ago. It was horrible. People said, oh, they were just addicts. They deserve it. It was so sad. It is sad. And the thing is the people selling these pills, they're opiates. Okay. That's what fentanyl is. It's an opiate. And people that are addicted to Lortabs, oxycodones, I hope I'm not triggering anybody, because my brother was addicted to oxycodones. And let me tell you, being addicted to opiates, it's hard to get off of that. So what happens is these dealers that have these pills, they might sell them for a couple bucks, right, to get you started. And then you have the hookup, and then you start spending lots more money. It's really sad.
Very addictive, very fast.
It is addictive. And, my brother said that it's one of the hardest things to break. And I'm going to say I agree with him because he would come here and stay. He would stay at our house and coming off the Lortabs and the oxycodones, it was rough. And then we'd get him straightened out. And a couple months later, right back, he was deep into the addiction. It's one of them addictions that just because you're off of it for 6 months, a year, or maybe 5 years, once you do that pill again, you're right back deep into that addiction. It only takes one pill.
Yeah, you're back to square one.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, and we have I don't know if you guys ever heard of Dr. Snyder. I'll look it up and play it for you. But I'm from a little town, Hayesville, and Dr. Snyder and his wife run a clinic here. And that clinic where you could just go in, they took cash. You could go in and you could walk out of there with 200 Percocets, and the Hayesville Health Mart was filling them. And we had 2 neighbors die because they was used to Lortabs, and that particular Dr. Snyder gave them oxycodones, and oxycodones takes longer to react than the Lortabs did, and they passed away. They took too much, and they passed away. Dr. Snyder is now in prison, him and his wife. But it was bad. I can't remember. I'm going to look it up. Can't remember how many people died, but there was a lot. A lot.
Mm.
And that was my parents' doctor. Dr. Snyder was. Luckily, my parents didn't take painkillers. But this is crazy. But yeah, back in 2014, see if I can find a good article to play you guys. But in 2014, Dr. Steven Snyder owned a clinic at 7030 South Broadway in Hayesville. And man, he was pumping out scripts to these people. It was horrible. People were driving from all over the United States just to go to that clinic for them pills. And the federal government really buckled up back in 2014. The federal government buckled up on doctors writing them scripts. And a lot of doctors has went to prison for writing them scripts. But that's after several passed away over it. It's just sad, all the way around sad. Let's see here. Trying to find one that's got a good article on it to play you guys. Like I said, I only know because I'm from this area. And I'm sure it happens all over the U.S. Well, this isn't one that plays trying to find one that has a news article with it. But they fought it for a while, ran off to Mexico. They owned a big, huge house in Mexico. And they took off there, and they got them back from Mexico, the Snyders. But yeah, this is a big deal. Big deal for Colorado. I'm glad they caught them. Saved a lot of lives.
They just got to find out where they made them, get that machine.
I think they got the machines.
Did they get the machines?
Looks like it. They had it there. But that powder's coming from a drug cartel in Mexico.
Yeah, so it's getting in somehow.
Absolutely.
Still getting in.
But just think if that would have got out on the streets.
Well, yeah. So somebody's not really doing their job, if you ask me. I know they can hide it in all kinds of ways, but
I don't think that it's not that they're doing their job. I think that it's because it's just so much. It's happening so much. I mean, think about it. Back in the day,
they can't get everyone, I guess. They can't get everyone. There's a hit and miss, isn't there?
Yeah, but not only that, back in the day, marijuana smokers, we had ditchweed, which came from Mexico. Well, now that a lot of states has legalized it, people don't have to go through the underground to get the Mexican weed. They don't want it. It's not any good compared to what comes out of the dispensaries. So they had to switch to something else that makes some money. That's what it seems like to me.
Mm.
And again, being an opiate user, watching my brother go through it, it's hard to get them off of it. And just when you think they're clean, they go right back to it. It's an ongoing process, and it's sad. So if you have somebody that's hooked on fentanyl, I think my brother did Creighton, and that's not even better to get him off of fentanyl, but he did do Creighton. I don't even know what kind of programs are out there, but your loved one is not wanting to be this way. It's just so hard for them to get off of opiates. And listen, some of them is from college students or even high school students, say football players that get hurt, break a leg or something, and they start taking Loratab for the pain, and then they get addicted to it. And then the doctor won't prescribe it no more, and then they go to the streets to get it. I was looking here. Dr. Snyder was tied to 68 overdose deaths just here in Hayesville. 68. It's a lot.
Damn. That is a lot.
Can't believe there's no stories on this. Here we go. Here's one. We can play this. I guess so long ago where YouTube wasn't as strong back then, I guess, because I'm not seeing anything on it. But here we go.
Yeah, they're hiding it all.
And maybe it'll play, maybe it won't. I don't even know what's going on with it.
Kansas doctor, wife sentenced to prison in overdose deaths. I don't think you appreciate all the harm you caused, judge says to owners of clinic linked to 68 fatalities. The Associated Press posted September 24, 2015, 8:23 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. A Kansas doctor and his wife were given decades-long prison sentences Thursday for their convictions in a money-making conspiracy linked to 68 drug overdose deaths, with the judge saying the couple was motivated purely by greed. Opiate overdose deaths rising across Canada. Another father's pain, prescription drugs and addiction. Dr. Stephen Schneider and his wife, Linda, pleaded for mercy as a judge reassessed their original sentences following a ruling in another case by the U.S. Supreme Court. But prosecutors argued the couple didn't deserve mercy, saying they created a clinic permeated by fraud that cost numerous lives, created many addictions to prescription pain medication and cost government healthcare programs millions of dollars. Even here today, I don't think you appreciate all the harm you caused, the deaths, addictions all, to get money, U.S. District Judge Monty Bellott told the couple. If there was
Monty
any
Blott
decent
was
medical
saying,
care, it pales in comparison. The judge sided with prosecutors by again sentencing the doctor to 30 years in prison and his wife to 33 years. The same punishment was imposed after the couple was convicted in 2010 of conspiracy to commit healthcare fraud resulting in deaths, unlawfully prescribing drugs, healthcare fraud, and money laundering. The couple's clinic in the Wichita suburb of Hayesville had as many as 10,000 patients. Their lawyers argued during a 2010 trial that the Schneiders were overwhelmed and that they listened to drug makers that pushed potent narcotics. The 62-year-old doctor and his wife, who is 57, had argued that they helped people with chronic pain, even as the doctor saw up to 100 patients a day and left pads of pre-signed prescription forms for staff when he was out. I am truly sorry. Before the couple was sentenced, Julie Wilburn, who said her mother died because of medication prescribed by the doctor, told the judge the hardest thing she's ever had to do was tell her grandparents about her mother's death. He will never understand the hurt he has caused my family, she said. Larry Wall, an attorney who represented the families of 8 dead patients and an addicted patient, said his clients were pleased with the sentence and appreciate this sad story, this avoidable tragedy, is finally over. The couple's lawyers said after the hearing that they plan to appeal. We were hoping for a more lenient sentence, but that is to be expected, said Carrie Schmidt, who represented Stephen Schneider. The judge ordered the new sentencing after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled last year that a victim's drug use must be the actual cause of death to impose the harshest punishments under the Federal Controlled Substances Act. In light of the ruling, Bellott threw out some of the couple's sentences in June. But the High Court's ruling made little difference Thursday, because at least one death-related count the judge left intact carried a sentence of between 20 years and life in prison. I am truly sorry if we hurt the community in any way with what we did or what we didn't do, Stephen Schneider told the judge before he was sentenced. And I just hope that you have mercy on us. Linda Schneider said she wakes up every morning and tries to make a difference in the lives of her fellow inmates. She said she prays to one day make a difference to people in the community. The judge later noted that individuals involved in some drug cases he's handled since the couple was convicted were once former patients of the Schneider's clinic. It is almost impossible for me to overstate the harm that these people caused, Bellet said. Sure, they are sorry here today, but it is what they did then.
Okay, that was the end of it. Anyway, that was Monte Ballot. He's actually a friend of mine, but he's retired now. Federal judge. But yeah, their way. They didn't have kids together. They adopted kids, and two of the girls went to school with my middle child, and they were sweet girls. I mean, they lost both their parents because they was adopted. It was sad. It was sad that the family got so greedy, and all them lives that went away over their greediness. Like I said, people came from all over the world just to get pills from Dr. Snyder. And it was being filled right at the Health Mart. Sad. Sad, sad. It's gotten a lot stricter now, and there's a good thing. So when you get a narcotic and you have to show your driver's license, or you send your husband down to get it and they give him a hard time, just remember, they made these rules for a reason. And it's not to harass you, it's to keep other people from getting it. So yeah, Mama Lost Rhonda hit me up today, and the person that she's staying with, she has to move. And hopefully you found a place, Mama Lost Rhonda. I am listening, but trying to get stuff moved out. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Good to see you. God works in good ways. God is good all the time, Mama. Things will turn around.
Get in your minivan. Get in your minivan. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't think she's got the minivan anymore.
Oh, I just said get one.
Well, that's
cheap vehicle.
You know, she had to go back to work. She hadn't been working and left her husband.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There's a lot going on. So, but she's got her job, and things will work out. I told her today to try to hit up some women's shelters, but she said they never get back with her. But there's got to be somebody that'll help her until she can get a place.
Yeah.
Mark says,
does she have a vehicle of anything? She don't have a vehicle of any kind?
Last I knew, she didn't have a vehicle.
Oh, I was going to say, it don't matter what vehicle you got. You can live in it until you can find something. Do you know what I mean?
She did the van life before. And no, she
Oh, she did that before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because she was in here telling you about it.
Oh, all right.
But, she left what was her husband. And now starting fresh. Christopher says, Journey, no minivan gang building allowed around here.
What?
That's what he says. And Mark Owens says, hope everyone is doing good. Listen, we're doing good. We're just going over some different things that's been happening in Colorado, Oklahoma, and Kansas. We're glad to have you here. And just kind of talking. I wasn't going to do a live tonight. I was going to wait till Thursday, but I decided, what the hey, we'll just go ahead and go live and we'll just talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm deeply concerned about the Panhandle and the crooked shit that happens there. Kevin McIntyre, I have not forgot about you. I've not forgot about you because I still can't believe he's the head DA appointed task force officer, and he was in a different part of Oklahoma, got grand jury indicted for stealing money. The day before he had court, there was supposedly a burglary. When they investigated the burglary, the only thing that was stolen was supposedly the money that was missing, and all the computers and everything else was there. He admitted that he lied, and he walked away from that whole deal with a plea deal where he just couldn't be a police officer for 3 years. So he waits 3 years and he ends up in the Panhandle having the same job where he got grand jury.
Oh,
how the
that's how he got his job. Oh, he had to wait 3 years to get that job.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
3 years. So he went to the Panhandle because, listen, the Panhandle was known as lawless, and I still think there's a lot of lawlessness that goes there, and I think the law is the problem. That's my opinion. I don't live there, but from the time I've spent there and all the stories I've heard, the law is the problem there, and that's still part of Oklahoma. Taxpayers pay them. It's time to step up, get the right people in office. These people that just go from one part of the state because they screw up to another part of the state is crazy. Why do they allow that? How does he got the same job he had when he got grand jury indicted? It makes no sense. But
Hey,
anyway,
Chris.
go
Hey,
ahead.
Chris. You'd be happy to say that I'm not dealing with no more nuts, okay, here. But now I'm on the wood and I'm going to be soaring, okay? Because I got myself a little electric saw today. Cost me $30. And I'm going to saw that wood off tomorrow, the woody, okay? We're on to the woody now.
You're going to
And
saw that
I've
wood off,
measured,
aren't you?
and I've measured it, and it's a whocker. It's 30 inches.
That's right. There you go. Well, I'm glad. Listen, that's going to make you feel better that you're getting your band ready to travel. And it's got to be exciting.
Yeah, but that little tool will come in handy because I was looking for one of them hand saws, you know, and they're like,
Listen, I could not imagine you doing it with the handsaw. Seriously.
oh yeah, you can't imagine. I used to do woodwork when I was very young, when I was in school, but that ain't the point. I haven't used a saw for a long time. But I was looking at them, and they cost like the one that I would need. It was like $20, $19.99, right? But then I see that, and that was $30, $29.95, and it's electric, and all I have to do is plug it in, though.
Where'd you get
And
it?
I thought, the Walmart. I went to Walmart. It's a 3.5 amp touch, something touch. Just and I thought, well, that'd be a lot better, and it can do the job what I want it to do, little jobs, you know.
Yeah. Do you guys have a harbor? Surely you have a Harbor Freight there, don't you?
A what?
Harbor Freight?
Bird Freight. Yeah, but they're here in between.
Oh, because Harbor Freight, they carry a lot of stuff like that, a lot cheaper too.
Well, I thought $30 ain't bad. If I want to buy it, I buy a saw for 20, and I can get that electric one for $10 more. I
did a
thought
good
it'd be a
job.
lot easier on me. It's only small. It's not that big. You know, it's like a woman's tool, if you know what I mean.
Christopher says, I can imagine it would be hilarious. Then he says,
Yeah, I'll be in there going, ee-oh, 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 ee-oh. They say, what the fucking hell's that woman doing in that minivan? Ee-oh, and the minivan shaking. Do you know what I mean? And there's huffing and puffing like, ooh, this is hard work.
yeah,
Do you know what I
and
mean?
then you
All
were
the
out
sound
there saying, I
effects,
got to get this
all
money
the sound,
taken care of.
all the sound effects. You know, got it all going on in this van.
Christopher says,
And you know
Walmart.
what? That stupid woman, that one of those silly old women that live in that one of those apartments, you know, she'll probably come out and say, I shook her house again. I shook her house and woke her up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, one time, about a year and a half ago, I just came home from work and I had my music on, which wasn't that loud because my stereo is not a boombox, all right? And it was about 7 o'clock at night. And when and I see somebody come into my car, and I was just about to get out. So the music wasn't even on. I was just getting out. And she goes, you know what? You woke me up. My whole house shook. I says, you got to be joking. You got to be joking. Yeah, well, you need to turn that music down. You shook my house. And I said, your house is way over there.
She just
Way
wanted to
over there.
complain. She just wanted to complain.
Well, anyway, I told my daughter, and she told the what you call it, they have a meeting every week and stuff. What you call it, a committee.
Homeowners Association?
Yeah, like that. That's what they're in. So they have a meeting. They go to each other's houses, right? Whoever's hosting it, and you know, they talk about stuff, update stuff. And she told her, you know, don't be coming over upsetting my mother. You're lucky she never said nothing to you. I said I didn't say anything to her. I just said, no, my music wasn't that loud. I think maybe one of the young kids that comes in the car, they boom their music,
Oh yeah, they
and it was
do.
probably them. It was probably them, and they had already left, and she thought it was me. I said, my stereo in my car don't boom, 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 boom. Okay?
Mine does. Maybe it was
And
me.
it's,
Mine booms.
well,
I
and
love
it certainly, and it certainly don't shake your house and kick you out of bed.
mine does. I'm a
Yeah, well,
music
anyway,
lover though. I'm a music lover all the time. Even the bus. The bus has surround sound and it's loud. And I'll be out there doing something, and Rick will text me, "Your music's too loud." And I'm like, "It ain't even loud. What are you talking about? It's not loud."
you're
New
just
signs
used
in
to it.
neighborhood. Beware of attack mothers. Laugh out loud. Christopher says. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, what the hell? I get the blame. I get the blame. I says, I bet it was that bloody kid that just left a little while ago with his friends. You know, they come around, boom, 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 boom.
Right.
And I get the blame for it. I was like, I just got here. I just got here. I just
Oh,
parked my car and just getting out.
I don't know if you noticed, but the pictures you sent me today, I sent back that I loved them. Them some good pictures of Murphy too.
Yeah, I did. I did read your message. Yeah. I thought it's not done yet. It's just to give you an idea, you know, what it looks like, you know,
You
the
came a long
space.
way. Are you in the van right now?
Oh, yeah, you know I am. Now I'm in the Pick and Save parking lot, facing the bushes.
That's right. Well,
I,
Murphy,
I, I look like I'm living in the woods. I'm living in the woods. So I look at the bushes and I say, yep, I'm in the woods. I'm in the woods. I'm in the trails.
and that blue thing, that's what you're going to sleep on, right? The lounger's blue.
Yeah, the thing at the back, it's folded up. It's a bluish color. Yeah, it's a bluish color.
Hold on, I'll share your picture. Give me just a minute. I'm getting
But
to my computer.
you know, once that's got some blankets on underneath, and it's got my 4-inch memory foam thing, and it's got blankets on it, it's going to make it higher, and it's going to make it look like a bed. But at least I can fold that down and get it out my way if I want as well, you know? Easy enough.
Absolutely.
And it's light. It's light and it's not too heavy. I don't know what it's like to sleep on, but you know, we've all laid on some beds like that, you know, those what do you call them?
Oh, for
Recliner
sure.
thingies. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all laid
Those
on them.
are,
They're comfortable enough. And you know
here's the
what?
picture.
And it's got, you know, it's got holes in it, like, you know, it's got strips, so it's got little air pockets. You know what I mean? That's good for your memory foam, so it breathes from the damp and the heat when somebody's on it. That's good because that gives air pockets, so the material can breathe. You know.
Can you see the
So there
picture
you
I'm
go.
sharing right now? Can you see the
Oh, hold
picture
on
I'm
a
sharing?
minute. Hold on.
Christopher's making fun of your English accent. She just removed herself. Hold on. She hit the wrong button. She hit the wrong button. But this is her van. This is her getting ready. There's Murphy. She's getting things together. I dropped the link for you again, Journey. You hit the wrong button. Christopher wants to know, can you buy them signs at Walmart? Christopher, you're the shits tonight. Nona says I got pulled over and got a warning for loud music in 2001. I still like loud music. Music is soothes the soul. Yeah, it's looking great. It is looking great. She shared quite a few pictures to me. She's ready to go. She's ready to get out of her daughter's house and do her own thing. There she is. She's back. She's back.
Yeah, I kicked myself out or something. I was going to look at the comments and then I went to click off the comments and
It's all
I
right.
ended myself.
I noticed you was
Yeah.
gone, so I dropped the link immediately. Who's this talking about? What a good job you're doing on it. The van's looking good.
Yeah, so that's the gray carpet that's on top of the wood, right?
Yes.
But since I took that picture, I took everything out again and brought the wood all the way to the back and then about 30 inches at the front by the front seats. That's what I'm going to cut off. So it will only go, it won't go all the way to my seats now. It'll just be 30 inches away. So I can get under the stowaway seats. Because I don't really need the wood there. So that's what I got to cut off, because that's what I decided. Because I was going to do the hatch, but the hatch ain't going to do no good. Because I've got covers for those, and you can walk on them and they don't bother you. It's at the back that bothers you. You know, those metal bar things.
Right.
And to level it off and level the floor out a little bit. That's what I wanted to do. So
Now,
that's
what
why
is
I'm
that?
deciding to cut that off.
What is that in front of Murphy? Is that like the console between the front seats? What is that?
Oh, that goes between my seat here, the front seats, the console. Yeah. You
Yeah,
can
that's what
have,
I thought.
you can put drink holders in that, but I might not keep that. I might get rid of it because it's just, I've got a drink holder in the side of my door, and I've got a drink holder on the other side of the door. And I've got two in the front of me by my dashboard. And that only takes up space. It's just in my way. I'm just keeping it for now, but I'm going to get rid of that too because it's not flexible. Do you know what I mean? It's bulky. It's not flexible. And it just takes room. I can get two more cubes in that space. You know what I mean? Oh, God.
All right. I'm looking forward to your adventures, your van life adventures. I think they're going to be great.
Yeah, so this picture just gives you an idea what space I got to work with. And I just threw Murphy's little, you know, that blanket, that little thing he's sitting on. Well, that used to be his toy. It was one of those baby toys that you lay the baby on the mat, and they have their activity thing above their head with hanging toys. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, I bought that for him when he was a puppy, and I hung all little doggy toys on there for
Oh,
chewing on and playing with, so we could kick them. Some with bells, some with, you know, it made noise, and a little monkey, a little mouse, and some chain links that you could chew on. Yeah, that's
no,
what it was.
I kick
So
and
I got
play.
rid of that. I got rid of that part, and I just kept the little mat part because it was cute.
It works, right?
Yeah. So if you ever have a dog and a little puppy, those things you can get on the marketplace, or you can buy them cheap, and then just turn them into for a dog and put dog toys on there for little puppies.
Murphy's like, fuck with me because I'm going to bite you. Yeah.
I'll
Go
tell you
ahead,
what,
Murphy.
I got some videos. I got some videos of Murphy. I'll have to show you one day. Send them. I got to find them. I got some little videos that I did for when he was a little puppy.
Or put them on your channel because we're going to be watching you in this van live. So put them on your channel.
Yeah, I got to find them. I don't know. They're in my, I don't know. They're in there somewhere. They're in there somewhere in my cloud.
I'm excited for you. I do worry about you staying in bad places, though. Oh, that's scary.
I don't think I'm going to stay in bad places. I'm going to stick to the road, the freeway, and then find a 24-hour, a busy 24-hour stop, you know, like a trucker stop or something.
Yeah, well, so you're talking about that, but them are not the safest places. I was just reading a thing on I-40 in Oklahoma, and they have a lot of unsolved deaths, homicides along I-40 at the truck stops. So you got to be really careful with the truck stops. I wouldn't say that that's the safest place.
Well, I don't know. I would.
You'll figure it
You
out.
don't really need to sleep that long. You just need to nap. So, do you know what I mean? You don't need to really sleep. If you sleep about 4 hours, that should be good enough.
Well, you listen, your body needs rest. Don't forget that. Your body needs rest.
Yeah.
And so you've got to get your sleep. Don't limit yourself to just 4 hours.
Oh no, but I'm just saying I could if that's how I feel. If I don't feel like that, then I won't be driving. You know, it just depends how I feel. You know.
Mm-hmm. Nona says, Journey, Walmart has HP Chromebook for $119 if you want to not bog down your phone. But
Hold
you
on a
have
minute. What?
right?
Say that again.
She said Walmart has an HP Chromebook for $119 if you want to not bog down your phone. Yeah, and
A
don't
Chromebook?
them unmanned rest stops. Find places where there are people around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if anybody remembers the I-70 killer, but there was such thing as an I-70 killer.
Oh my God.
And he went along.
There's killers everywhere. There's killers everywhere.
I just want you to realize that you have to be careful on the main highways because some of them, that's where they find out where they can get people.
Yeah, I wouldn't be stopping for nobody. I don't care if they broke down, waving their hands. I'll say, "Oh, I'll call 911 for you."
Well, and you're not going to be back there where the trucks are either.
No, I won't be where the trucks are. I'm just saying a truck will stop, but at the front, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And something that's open 24/7. You know, nothing that's closed.
Yeah, you got to be really careful. But you already know that. You already know that.
Yeah. But you know, I went down to Florida and I've been to Georgia and South Carolinas and Savannah by myself and just napped.
Yeah, and you was going to wait till you wasn't going to leave because you already paid your daughter the rent for the month, but you're trying to get together so you can get out of there. So you're getting the van ready.
Yeah. Look, getting this van ready, it seems simple, but if you don't have the materials and you don't have the tools and then you don't have any help to be lifting all this shit around, it just takes a little bit longer.
Absolutely.
And I got to get motivated, and I got lack of sleep, and I get lack of sleep. I got lack of motivation.
I think you're very motivated. You seem to be really getting into it now and getting things together.